So Mickey was successful. He traveled around the world in 80 days. I bet he saw many wonderful things along the way, including how people all across the world live. Why don't we take a look at how people live in different parts of the world? Sound like fun? Then here we go, apprentice. Oh my, let's take a look at this home. It's an igloo. Igloos are small homes made with blocks of snow and ice. Not just in the winter, but most of the year round. Where would you find people living in igloos? The city has skyscrapers and busy streets made of concrete. The Arctic is chilly and cold all year round. And the desert is hot, dry, and filled with sand. So, in which of these places might you find people living in igloos?
In the Arctic.
Very good, apprentice. Because there are few, if any, trees or stones to build with, people in the Arctic use snow and blocks of ice to make their homes. You can put your snowshoes away now as we travel to another part of the world. What is this house made of? Why, it's made of stone. We won't find any wood or ice in this structure. Where would you find a house like this one? Some really tall mountains don't have many trees or plants. The rainforests are filled with trees and vegetation. The ocean is made up entirely of water. In which of these three places would we find a stone house?
In the tall mountains.
Good thinking, apprentice. You're correct once again. The people in the mountains don't use wood or snow to make their homes. They use what's around them all year. And in these mountains, that's rock and stone. Let's roll on to our next type of home, shall we? This is a tent home, and it serves several purposes. It helps protect its residents from the hot sun and strong winds. A tent is also easy to pack up and move to a different location. Where would you find people living in a tent house? Is it in the rainforest, wet and filled with green trees? Maybe in the city, filled with tall buildings and busy streets made of concrete. Or perhaps in the desert. It's hot and dry, and the ground is covered by sand. So, which of these environments is best for a tent house? Is it in the city, apprentice?
No, it's the desert.
Precisely. In the desert, lightweight tent homes are often made of fabric or animal skin. It's easy to pack up and move around, which is useful for nomadic people who move from place to place. Hold on tight. We're off across the globe once again. Here's an interesting looking home. It's a houseboat. It's made of wood and can float on water. Where would you find people living in a houseboat? The savanna is flat grassland roamed by lions and tigers. The ocean is filled with water. And the farm is where the farmer tends to his animals and crops. Houseboats are found in one of these three places. Let's try to figure out which one.
On the ocean.
Exactly. A houseboat is found on the ocean. Because a houseboat can float on the water, it allows the home dweller to travel from port to port. Imagine a portable house. Apprentice, we're on to our last stop on our learning excursion. This type of home is called an apartment. Apartments are individual homes combined in a large building. Where might we find an apartment? in the rainforest, which is wet and filled with green trees? Could it be in a city where many people live in a small area? Or on a farm where animals graze in fields of grass? So, in which of these three environments would you find an apartment?
In the city.
You never fail to impress me, apprentice. Apartments can be found in cities all over the world. Cities like New York, Rio de Janeiro, London, Paris, Cairo, Moscow, Tokyo, and Sydney, just to name a few. We've learned that people live in different types of homes all over the world, depending on their environment. Now, let's watch a story about Mickey and his home.